Hello, Warriors fans. I am Scott Warras, so pleased to be joined by Isaiah Herried, who's the conference's men's cross-country athlete of the week. We were talking a little bit off the air, Isaiah. As coincidence would have it, it was this very same week last year when we were chatting because of what you did last year at the Gene Davis Invitational, and it's largely due to why we're talking here today. You bested your time from last year. Let me give you the numbers, folks. You finished second overall out of a field of 185 runners up at Lawrence this past weekend, the Davis Invitational. The third fastest time in program history in the 8K of 25 minutes, 9 seconds, .00, which was about 19 seconds faster than your time at the Davis last year. My first question, the easiest question, what went so right at Lawrence?
The weather was really good. I kind of told my coach that I was just kind of going to go out there and try to go under 25, but I didn't really care. I just was trying to go for a win, and if sub 25 came, it came. But fortunately, it didn't come that day, but it was good conditions to run fast, and so I just put it myself out there.
Okay, so the obvious follow-up question is now 2 years in a row you've won the conference's Athlete of the Week coming off your performance at that race. Is it a course that you find really conducive? Is it just an overall field that has been really conducive for your performance? I mean, is there something to this, or are we reading too much into it?
Usually the course is real nice, but it's kind of...
It's a golf course, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the footing's real nice, but I feel that the reason I run so fast is that's when everything starts to click. The first half of the season, you're usually doing like a workout in the race, or you're just getting used to going out faster. So I think this is kind of the week where I start getting used to going out fast and like just being relaxed in that middle part of that race, because there's no simulating that in practice. It's impossible. So it's just getting used to that 3 and 4 mile.
Well, if you are in fact turning it on here now at this point in the season, the statistics, as it were, are showing it. Not only did you finish, in that position second this past weekend, but the prior Saturday you won your home event, the Warrior Invitational, the individual championship. Second time you've done that in your career. Is there something special about winning any race? I get that. Anything a little extra special knowing it's the home event, the home invite?
Yeah, it's real nice, I'm not gonna lie, but the plan was to just go in there and do a workout because I woke up sick that day.
Really?
Yep, and I tempoed for 4 miles at 5:20, and then I did an interval mile at the end and still won it. But
so you were sick.
Yep.
It was meant as a workout day.
Yep.
And you won the invite.
Yep.
That's when you know you are in the groove and you're a very great runner. We were talking also a little bit about running alone versus running in a group. Can you talk about that dynamic, maybe for folks who don't understand that part of cross country, and maybe what you prefer over the other?
I definitely prefer running with people. I felt like at the Gene Davis invite, I was up there. I was basically running by myself for like 4K of the race, like half the race. And when you're up there by yourself, there's not a lot of people cheering for you. And so you're kind of thinking about the whole entire race, your pace the whole time, versus if you're with a group, like you can kind of just relax and just roll with the group and let the group carry you, versus like when you run out in front, like you're always thinking, you're always looking behind, you're always thinking of the pace, what you're going at. It's just so much more stressful, and like that's why like front running is just so hard. Like I used to do that in high school all the time, front run, but it's so much easier to just sit behind people and just let them take the race from the beginning.
Taking a step back for a second, and you're a senior now, where did you want to improve? How did you want to refine your performances heading into your senior season, if you were to reflect on the off season?
I think the biggest thing that's the difference between me this year and the last 3 years was definitely the fact that my purpose was timed those 3 years, versus this time, like I'm good enough to go out and win races. So like time will come if I win races. And so I think shifting from trying to look at my watch and my pace all the time to just going out and winning is the biggest thing that's changed for me personally.
Is that something that, when working with Coach Travis, you kind of shifted philosophy? Does that just come with experience and learning the sport even better now than when you first started? How did that shift kind of evolve?
It had to do a little bit with Coach Travis. I was always like time-wise, I have to hit this time. That's not necessarily the case. But I think the biggest thing is like, realizing that I was good enough fit-wise to go win. It's just, there's two different parts of cross country, and a lot of people don't get this, is that you can be really fit, but don't win. Like Zeke was extremely fit, and he found ways to win. That's what made him good. And I think I kind of took that mostly from him, is that he always found a way to win. It didn't matter time or anything. He just found a way.
That's interesting, because now as a veteran on this team, in this program, do you find yourself sharing those types of philosophies or advice, really, to maybe some of the newcomers or some of the younger runners?
Yeah, it's definitely, I kind of express that, like, don't care what time you go out in. Go out with a group that you think you can go with and just roll with them. Instead of thinking, oh, I got to go out at this certain time. Like, I really don't. There's a certain point that I do care. Like I'm not going to go out like 10 seconds, 20 seconds slower, but it's just putting myself in a position to win is the biggest thing that I want to teach those guys, that it doesn't matter what you got to just depend on your fitness and depend on coach's training plan and your even past 3 years of running that you've been just consistently running. You got to just trust it.
Well, I mentioned you're a senior. Let's just take a step off the course for a second. You've got a busy class schedule. We were joking about it before off the air. What are your post-grad plans as it sits right now?
There are a couple options. I was thinking of going and GAing, being a grad assistant, either cross country, or even looking at potential positions that are like athletic department stuff, because I really want to be an athletic director.
Really?
Yep, and that's the ultimate goal. I've also considered recreational stuff instead of going to get my master's. It's just kind of throwing those up in the air and seeing what's the best possible option, because like my other two siblings have GA'd before and they've enjoyed it, so I was just kind of fumbling with those two decisions of what I want to do.
Yeah, when we talked last year, we talked about the Herried name. It's a familiar one here at WLC, especially in the athletics world and here at inside the recreation complex. And as I understand it, the last of the Herrieds is now on campus. Is that right?
Yep.
So what's that dynamic like? Are you mentoring? Are you giving advice on the academic stuff? Things like that, how to manage?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like I gave him quite a bit of information that he needs, but yeah, it's just a weird dynamic, because I'm not used to that. I'm used to being the guy that's the youngest and usually taking the mentorship, but it's my turn to give the mentorship that helps him succeed, hopefully both academically and athletically.
That's awesome. That is great. Private College Championships coming up this weekend in Mequon at Concordia, Wisconsin. Isaiah will be there. But before we go, 5 questions. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. First answer that comes to mind, don't overthink it. Number 1, what is your least favorite chore to do around the house?
Probably dishes. It's disgusting.
Do you have a dishwasher? Clearly not.
Well, we don't have one at our apartment.
Okay. Number 2, what is your most hated Halloween candy?
Candy corn.
Candy corn. That's a popular hated candy. I know that. Would you trade with your brothers and sisters and stuff
Yeah,
back in the day?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3, to whom do you go first for life advice?
It's probably either my dad or my brother Noah.
Okay, very good. Number 4, what was your first pet? What was its name?
It was a dog, and her name was Sadie.
Sadie the dog. What kind of dog?
It was a pit bull / Rottweiler.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Woo! That's a guard dog.
Yep.
That is a guard dog. Number 5, the better odds of happening, you bungee jumping or you skydiving?
Skydiving.
Better odds, okay.
Yeah.
Your bonus question on the way out. What is your most famous celebrity encounter?
Mike McCarthy was at one of my NYVP youth basketball tournaments when I was.
Really?
Yep. And he watched me play.
Did he?
Yep.
Did you go over and say hi? Anything like that? Any interaction with Coach McCarthy, former Packers coach?
I tried, but my parents were like, maybe we should just leave him alone because it's probably his off day and he's just trying to watch his kid play basketball.
Probably. There you go. Isaiah Herried, for the second time in his stellar career, he's the conference's Men's Cross Country Athlete of the Week. Thanks and all the best. Keep it rolling.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.